Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today we have a very special and unique gamble coming up. We have a comparison gamble, what I call it. I call it the Quadhundred Exalts gamble. And if you say like, hey, Quadhundred is 400, isn't it? Technically it is, but this time around we have 4 gambles in one, and we're gonna compare each of these gambles. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about we're gonna unidentify today 100 Exalts worth of Uber Elder Watcher's Eyes. This is item level 86 that comes from the Uber Elder itself, so this goes for about, we're gonna see on the right then a little bit later. Then we're gonna identify 100 Exalts worth of the Elder Watcher's Eye. This is item level 85, so they are cheaper. Then we're gonna run 16 Cortex maps, which is for some reason 100 Exalts worth of Cortex maps, and in the end we're gonna Vaal stuff worth 100 Exalts on top of that, okay? So this is the gamble today. We have a Quadhundred gamble by Hezee, and as I just said, the 8, so it's a little bit more than 100 Exalts on each piece, but better 100 plus than 99, because that would actually trigger my OCD. So we have the Uber Elder Watcher's Eye go for about 13 Exalts each. Then we have the, I think it's actually 24 of those. Yeah, it's 24 of this one, so the calculation was actually right. It was just a typo over here. So they go about 4 Exalts each, obviously, because these are the triple mod Watcher's Eyes. These are the double mod Watcher's Eyes. Then we have 16 Cortex maps going for about 6.5 Exalts each. So I'm going to run 16 Cortex maps and see what the outcome of that is. And in the end, we're gonna do the Vaaling tab here, which is basically 100 Exalts worth of items. We have like 10 chevrons, wrappings here, all 6 linked, obviously. We have actually 2 Sackwell's Nest. This 5 is actually called Void Fletcher. They go for about 1 Exalt each. Then we have the 10 Watcher's Eye is actually not even something in here, God. I forgot. I'm actually so bad at this. Wait a second. We have 10 Shafts. We have 5 Void Fletchers. We have 2 Sackwells. We have actually 10 pieces of the Prison Guardian. Prison Guardian. See, this is like, I spent like 20 minutes trying to create this, this Exile here, Path of Exile, and I cannot even rewrite these things here. So they are pretty cheap actually, for like 75 chaos or something. Then 10 times Maligaris Virtuosity for about 2.4 Exalts each piece. We have 10 Call of the Brotherhood for about 2.5 Exalts, and 5 times Intuitive Leap. So all of that combined is about 103 Exalts worth. So basically 4 times a good 100 Exalts, and then we're gonna see what is the outcome. So how are we gonna do this? Pretty easy. We're gonna unidentify all of this now to see what's the outcome. We're gonna unidentify those here. Then we're gonna Vaal all of that here. Then we're gonna run, like, stop the video basically, because then it's time for me to run the 16 Cortex maps and then do the price check of everything here. And then we have a final result, if this whole thing was profitable or not, and who of these 4 is the winner. If you want to, you can just pause the video real quick, write in the comments who do you think will work or will win basically. In the end, all of these could be the big winners, because on Uber Elder Watcher's Eye, just get a lucky one single time, and you just get a mirror tier Watcher's Eye out of that. Here you can have a bunch of double modded that go for like 70 Exalts or plus, double Anger, double Hatred, something like that. Clarity Watcher's Eye with the Energy Shield or something, you go like 35 Exalts or something. The Cortex maps, obviously a bunch of like 5 Sulfur Flasks would be enough to get back the 100 Exalts basically. But if you are happy and lucky enough to get an Explonebalist, that thing goes for like 3 or 4 mirrors. That's like more than 1,000 Exalts just for this weapon. And the Vaaling tab is what I think. It's questionable though. So if you hit the +1 shafts or something, you're definitely gonna get some currency, maybe additional arrows. So all of these gambles here could be super insanely big, but in the same time could be very bad as well. So, I would say we're gonna start right away. We're just gonna pick up a bunch. I'm just hoping that I have enough Vaal orbs. I think I do. Good. So, let's take a bunch of these here, a bunch of these here. And we start right away with unidentifying the Uber Elder Watcher's Eyes. So, first of all, we have Anger, Pride +2. Pride +2 goes for about, I think, like 20, 25 Exalts or something, if it's still this ratio. The other mods doesn't look that special. Then we have Determination, Purity of Elements, and Impale. That's probably not that great at all. Then we have Double Grace Haste with movement speed, Onslaught Haste. That's actually a quite fine combination if you're doing some speed farming, because increased movement speed and Onslaught is super nice to have, but I don't think in this current state of the league, with all these new peril stackers, that somebody uses one of those. Then we have Pride, double damage, and Discipline. Probably not, because I'm not aware of any kind of CI Fizz characters, so probably not. Then we have Clarity, Mana, Wrath, Damage Pen, and Salutary Arcane Surge. So that could be actually super nice, because the Arcane Surge mod is one of the best ones for Salutary, I think. Then we have Faster Start, Discipline, Anger, and Purity of Lightning. We have Vitality, Discipline, Recovery Rate, probably not. And here we have Crit Multiplier and Total Recovery from Mana. Questionable. But as I said, in the end here, I'm gonna do all the price check and we see the final outcome. For me personally, on the first glance, I would say we probably make like 40 Exalts out of these here, so that should be... I would say we're just gonna write here my assumption, right? So I think like we get 40 Exalts out of that, that would be like 60 X down the toilet. We're gonna see about that one later. So let's start with the Elder Watcher's Eyes. These are double modded. Starting by Malevolence, damage over time. I'm not sure, I haven't price checked too many Watcher's Eyes yet, but I think the Malevolence damage over time should be about, I don't know, like 8 to 10 Exalts or something, if not more. We're gonna see Anger Fist Conversion and Salutary. Then we have Discipline, chance to block spell damage. That's not good. We have Haste, Onslaught, and Recovery Rate by Malevolence. Precision, if that would be Precision Multiplier with Anger Multiplier in combination, that would have been huge. Then we have Anger Penetration as a standalone, Wrath Penetration as a standalone, Wrath Pen as a standalone. What the fuck? Clarity, Mana Recovery Rate, and Purity of Elements, probably not. Haste, debuffs, expire faster, and flat cold damage. Then we have Grace and Precision Multiplier. That's the one that we needed over here with the Anger Multiplier. Holy shit. Then we have Clarity ES and Attack Damage Precision. So as I said, Clarity ES does definitely go for a bunch. I'm not even sure how much it goes right now. I think like 2 weeks ago it was like 35 Exalts just for this stat. I don't know if they rised in the price or just fell, but I think somewhere about 30 Exalts should be still accurate. This one is pretty bad. Then we have another +2 Impale. That's another like probably 20 Exalts over here. Movement speed by Grace Determination. We have Salutary Arcane Surge. Unaffected by Ally Weakness. That's not that great, I think. Crit Strike by Wrath, sadly not with the Clarity ES mana mod, chance to deal double damage. Then we have Lightning Damage by Wrath, we have Conductivity and Burning Ground, that's probably not that great. Flask Charge by Precision, Fire Damage, Anger, not really. Penetration is not that bad, and Wrath, increased damage, and Purity of Elements. So, my assumption would be definitely more than the Uber Elder Watcher's Eye. I would probably say, based on what I've seen, I would say about 90 Exalts here. 90 Exalts out of that gamble. Maybe. I'm like just, you know, not investing too much time into price checking Watcher's Eyes this league, but this is just what I think. So, the Cortex we're gonna do later on. I have absolutely no idea, because I'm not even sure if I can do Cortex. I just hope I can do Cortex, so yeah, we should be able to. Then, now we're gonna vial all of this tap here, and we're gonna see what happens over here. First one, reduced fire damage taken. That's a rip. That's nothing changed. Reduced fire damage taken. Nothing changed. That's a rip. Nothing changed and rip. So based on these ones here, that's a rip, dude. That's a rip. Cause it's always like if there is an unchanged chefs, basically it is less worth than the corrupted version, obviously, because you cannot change, like you can change the socket colors, but why would you invest into that? I don't think if you price check this one, should be about 1.5 Exalts, while the base was about 2.3 Exalts. So basically you lose like 0.7 Exalts worth of value just by having it not changed, and I don't think that the reduced fire damage taken will be that valuable at all. Let's start with the Void Fletchers. First, nothing changes. Second, rip. Third, nothing changes. Then, nothing changes and nothing changes. God, is that boring. Good, Sakawal's Nest, max energy shield, that should bring some value, I think. And reduce cold damage taken should probably bring some value as well. Might not be a lot, but could be something. So, and now to these things here. I know that these ones here, if they have reduced mana reservation, they are worth quite a shit ton. First one, minion deal increased damage. Then we have damage penetrates lightning resistance, 4% increased damage, nothing changes, and nothing changes. Hey, not even a single rip. That's not too bad, actually. I expect at least 1 or 2 to rip here. Because Vaaling jewels is always super hard because they can turn into these corrupted, unique jewels that are, you know, worth like half a transmute orb, basically. So, now on to the Herald stacking items. This is something I have absolutely no interest of actually doing. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just ignoring the fact that Herald stackers exist. They're gonna be something from the past in the future, so I don't know what is actually good on those. I would assume, since they are basically aura stackers, I think level of socketed AoE gems or aura gems, something like that might actually be good. Here we have nothing changed. This is a rip. Then we have another rip. Then we have another rip. Then we have nothing changed. Nothing. Rip. Nothing. Rip, basically. Nothing. And Fizz taking as cold damage. So on this part, not really anything good. So we are down to the Maligarus Virtuosity. No idea what's good on that either, so we're just gonna revolve them right away. Nothing changed, nothing changed, nothing changed, nothing changed. That's a rip. Nothing changed. Vulnerability on hit. And now don't ask me if that is PogChamp or if it's like bad, you know? I have no idea actually. 9% a cast speed. That's a rip. And that's another rip. So the only good thing here is vulnerability. But as I said, I have no idea if this is actually good or not. So, down to the last one. So we vault this one, we vault all of those. So the last one is Call of the Brotherhood. Again, no idea what's good on that, you know? I mean, they even have quality modifiers. So, I would assume any kind of auras, maybe? Because these Herald stackers do like a lot of auras, so probably some discipline or something like that. We're gonna see. So, first one, nothing changed. That's a rip. Discipline increased aura effect. I think you need flat auras. That's a rip. That's nothing changed. Here we have nothing changed. That's a rip. That's nothing changed. A rip. And nothing changed. So definitely, I would say, out of this Vaaling tab, we probably, I would say, get back maybe 15 Exalts. So that doesn't really look good at all. So basically I've done like 300 Exalts and I've made like probably 150 that I get back. So already half of the currency is gone. But now to the interesting part, the Cortex maps. So I'm going to basically, for you guys, obviously it's just going to be a transition for the stream. We're gonna run now 16 Cortex maps. And we're gonna see if this is actually profitable or not as soon as I actually quality these up, because why not? So, see ya in a minute. Alright, we are done running these 16 Cortex maps. We're done price checking all of the Watcher's Eyes, the Val Tap gamble, and everything in this whole Quadhundred Exalt gamble. And surprisingly, actually, it's not even surprising, right? Let's go over this stuff before we gonna check the write-downs. Or at least I'm gonna do both. So, as I said again, we spend about 414 Exalts, which is about 1.38 mirrors worth of stuff. We had the 100 Exalts in Uber Elder Watcher's Eye, Watcher's Eyes, the Cortex maps, and the Valtap gamble, all about roughly 100 Exalts. My prediction was here we're gonna get back 40 Exalts, here we're gonna get back 90 Exalts. This was obviously... don't know, right? And here we're gonna have the Vaaling tab, which turned out super bad. Good, let's take a look. From the Vaaling tab, or at least like, this is actually wrong here. No, wait, results, there we go. So, this is the Uber Elder Watcher's Eye tab here, and we made a 38 Exalts, 0.40, right? So my prediction with 40 Exalts wasn't even that bad. There were only 2 jewels that are worth a little bit, that... basically, you know, it's about 13 Exalts per unidentified Watcher's Eye. So basically, those only are actually... okay, you know, the first one was the Double Pride and number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was the Arcane Surge and Lightning Penetration that goes also for quite some currency. Good, so minus 60 Exalts roughly on that one. Then let's take a look at the next tab, which is the Elder Watcher's Eye. Surprisingly here, we do have about 80 Exalts returns. I priced 90 here, so also a pretty good assumption, so... Einen Schulterklopfer für den Herrn mbXtreme? Yeah, well, so the only weird thing here is this one here. So this one is an Clarity and Attack Damage Precision. 30 Exalts would be purely the Clarity mana mod, right? So that's why I priced it for 30, because I personally have no idea. That's sold, that's DND/clear, sorry. I personally don't know any build that would run Clarity and Precision together. There might be some builds like the Howard Jug or something that could take use out of that. But I'm unaware of that, so this could be... I only found 2 on the market. One was like 35 Exalts, the other one was like 80 Exalts or something. So here we definitely have some room to play. I would just say, let's just take the middle part, let's do like 50, and we're basically just pretty much close to that. But this, as I said, this is like... flexible on the price here, right? So let's take a look at the Cortex maps. We only got 2 Bottled Faith out of that, which are both like 22 Exalts. And this one has to be by far the worst Bottled Faith I've ever seen in my entire PoE career, right? Like, look at these rolls. It's actually disgusting. You know what? I'll take one for the team. I'm gonna throw a Divine Orb on this one, because a Bottled Faith that bad... Oof, I wouldn't even pay 22 for that one. I would say if somebody has this for sale for 22, I would say like, dude, that's probably a solid 10 Exalts, because I need to get some Divines, okay? So let's just take one for the team, let's throw a Divine on it, and hopefully not make it worse. Let's take some more Divines and try to make something better out of that. No. Hey, 199.9. That's better now. Now I can live in peace, dude. Holy shit. How bad do you have to be at divining items? Okay. Then we had one Garb of the Ephemeral, which is, I think, the rarest thing to get. Surprisingly, we got a ton of Nebulas, but only one was actually good, or 2 were actually good. One was the more than 30% spell damage on the Implicit somewhere. 33% spell damage on the Implicit is not that bad, so that's more valuable than the standard one. And 1 level of Socketed Lightning Gems and trigger deals is like 10 Exalts or something. So basically, we come down to about 78 Exalts return from the Cortex map, and we spend 100, so that's a solid like 20-something Exalts lost on this part as well. And last but not least, the Valtab gamble. And here I price check all as good as I can with the Shafts, with the Void Fletchers, the Sacrowells. We had one winner here, which was a Call of the Brotherhood with the Discipline effect somewhere. I think that one goes for like, I don't know, like 15, 14 Exalts, something like that. And the intuitive leaps just didn't got any kind of value, even if it was increased damage. I think it was like, we have 5 over here, none ripped, so 5 Exalts. That's pretty much it, you know? So even if you get the increased damage, nobody cares about these items. All the people care is the mana reserve. Other than that is just rip. So, it's a 69 Exalts, PogChamp, 31 Exalts lost. So basically... if we're gonna take a look, we lost on all 4 gambles here. All 4 gambles. So the winner is basically this one. So even with the 30, we're basically, yeah, this is still the highest. Like, if you want to waste some currency, if you buy the normal Watcher's Eyes, this is the highest chance to not lose too much currency over here, right? So, and if we're gonna calculate all of these together to see, we have the 69, the 78, the 80 over here, and the 38 over here, makes a total of 266 Exalts. That means we lost a beautiful 147.35, which is basically half a mirror, right? Yeah. We lost half a mirror, so... guys, I'm back with the losses here on the gamblings. Like, it's actually sad. Not even one of those made profit. Not even one, dude. This one, maybe. As I said, with the Watcher's Eye, that could be a 50 Exalts. Then we actually made 0.90 like Exalts, like 150 Chaos plus on a gamble that's worth probably 100 Exalts, right? Yeah, Is one of you guys going to write Hezee that we probably lost some of his currency? Because I'm actually afraid to do so. But hey, I have to do it, you know? I have to man up and tell him that I just ruined, like, probably 150 exalts there on his currency here. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.